For this project, we're going to need the BBC Microbit, the edubit board, and the button bit sensor. In this project, we're going to program the BBC Microbit to play a game of rock, paper, scissors. We're going to get the Microbit to randomly generate one of those three things. In addition, we're going to use the Microbit to keep track of how many lives we have left. Here is the MakeCode website. And what we're going to do is we're going to generate a random number to signal whether the computer has chosen a rock, paper, or scissors. We're going to store this in a variable called hand, and then we're going to code the three objects. We're going to use 0 to mean rock, 1 to mean paper, and 2 to mean scissors. So the first thing we have to do is select our input. So we go to the input tab and we're going to select the on button A pressed block and drag that onto the screen. And then we're going to need a variable to store which of the three objects has been selected. So we go to the variables tab and select make a variable, and we're going to call the variable hand. Click OK, and then drag the set hand to block into on button A. Now what we need to do is generate one of those three numbers, 0, 1 or 2, to symbolize which hand object has been created. So we go to the Maths tab this time and select the random number generator. Pick random 0 to 10 and drag that into the value for the variable hand. And we want to pick a random number between 0 and 2. So now we need to display different symbols for each one of the three objects. So we're going to go to the Logic tab and select an if-else block. Drag that below the set hand block. And we need a comparison. So in the first case, the value of hand will be 0. So we need to go to the Logic block and select an equality. And then we want to put hand in, that's a variable. Drag that into the left-hand side of the equality. So if hand is 0, that's the first case. Then to get the second case, we need to click the plus button down here to get an else if state. And with the same thing again, we go for a comparison in the Logic block. Set the left-hand side of the equality to the variable hand. But this time the case is 1. And for the case where the number is 2, we don't need to set up a separate condition or equality because if it's not 0 or 1, it must be the third case. So we're just going to display the third symbol. So now we need to display some symbols. So we can go to the basic show LEDs block. Put that in the first condition. So if it's 0, that will be a rock. So we need to have some kind of symbol to indicate a rock. In the second case, if the hand is 1, that's paper. So how are we going to do paper? Let's just fill the whole set of LEDs. And if it's not a rock or paper, it must be scissors. So we drag the scissors into the else part. What does scissors look like? There we go.